When I've got a panel meeting, if it's an initial meeting, I approach it with some apprehension.
Very well.
Good to see you.
You've read the report?
Yes, I did.
Good. Come and take a seat.
Although you will have had a report, you're never quite sure how the young person will relate to you.
Done.
Okay. But his mum's been quite supportive.
His mother's very supportive. But
what I find particularly useful is before the panel having an opportunity to sit down with the youth offending team worker and talk through that report.
There's a new dad on the scene and there's lots of tension, family tension.
The support mechanism is very, very strong. You have a panel coordinator there who is there with you every step of the way and is always there as a reference.
Very good.
The panel coordinator is extremely knowledgeable on the whole system and is extremely supportive of our decisions.
Good. So, as you know, the victim, Jackie Lewis, will be attending.
How is she?
The role of the youth offending team worker is to bring the meeting together, to supply the information for the panel members so that they can make their decisions, and also to advise them on what's available locally to help the young person.
There's been a lot of problems with her car.
It's also to make sure that the victim of the offence feels that it's a safe environment for them to come and speak about the offence.
That she has to get the bus to school with the child and they haven't got the car back, so...
Is Paul aware of all the problems he's caused? And
No, he hasn't really shown any remorse yet.
You know, I don't want any of that lip and not listening to what they're saying and, you know, they're giving up their time and you've got to take this seriously. I mean, it's, you know...
I will.
You promise?
The young person is able to talk in this arena, I think, a little bit more readily. I mean, obviously, it's not easy. I don't feel that it's particularly easy to talk in front of people that you don't know. But what we try and do is not have the young person sat under a spotlight in the middle. It's about getting everybody together, and it's usually in a circle to discuss what is relevant.
Just like to come in and take a seat. Just introduce you. This is Derek, he's another panellist. Hi. Susan, you already know.
Yeah.
So how are you feeling?
Fine, actually.
Good. What I'll do when Paul and his mum get here, I'll introduce them and then I'll pass it over to you to speak to him if you like.
Right. Yeah.
In a lot of cases, the victim doesn't have a chance to fully explore what's happened in terms of the crime and why the crime may have been committed. And often they feel it's something that's very personal.
Hi, would you like to take a seat?
Hello,
Hi, Paul. I'll just introduce you to everyone. This is Derek, he's one of the panellists. Hi. This is Susan and Jackie. As you probably know, Susan's probably told you, this isn't a formal meeting. We're not the police or magistrates. We are members of the community who have had training in these panels. Anything you say here will be confidential. Everyone must give everyone else the opportunity to speak as well. And can everyone turn their mobiles off? Paul, can you think of any reason why you committed the offence?
Just did it.
So you just did it, there was no reason behind it?
Bored.
Is there anything else to do around where you live?
Nothing.
Are there any subjects that you like?
I can't.
He was always staying behind at school for art and computers.
Yeah, we haven't got a computer, you know.
It can be very hard getting them to talk at all, and my tact tends to be just to keep talking until I get something out of them. So I tend to look for some sort of glimmer that this person has made some contact with me in some way. So I may I'll talk about the crime, obviously, to start with. I'll talk about school, if they're not getting on at school, why they're not getting on at school. I'll ask them about the sort of subjects that they enjoy and those that they don't enjoy, and about the sorts of hobbies that they have and the things that they like doing, about their friends, and about maybe why they get into trouble and why they associate with certain people. But usually, if you carry on talking around different subjects, eventually you'll find something that has made some sort of contact with that young person so that you can then start drawing them out.
Your reason for taking the car because there's nothing to do?
Yeah.
But do you think that you can keep doing that, though? Don't you realise that that's going to get you into trouble, like it has done now? Don't you think you've got to find something else to do?
There's nothing to do, though.
Yeah, but you can't keep nicking cars and smashing them up.
You're right, but there's nothing else for me to do.
Jackie, can you tell us about the offence from your point of view?
Right, well, basically, I want to tell Paul just how angry I am about this. I mean, you don't realise the effect it has, like, on people like me, what you've done. I was out shopping with my young son. I'd left my car, came back with loads of bags of shopping, ended up having to get the bus home. I mean, I have saved up months for that car. It's my first car. And I'm getting the bus everywhere. I take my son to school, then I have to go straight to work. You just don't realise. You don't realise what it's done to my life.
Sorry.
It was very easy for you to say you're sorry now, but to be honest, I don't quite believe you, and I want to see that he's not going to do it again.
There's nothing I can do about it.
There is something you can do about it, Paul. That's why we're here.
You know, little things like the toys in the back of the car. I can't believe you broke them. What sort of, I mean, what's that about? What was that to you? They were my child's toys. If somebody came around to your house and wrecked your room, maybe you'd understand a little bit of how I feel.
I mean, you really didn't think about what implications there might be to the person who owned the car?
Well, I didn't think. Well, I didn't think before I did it. Because, well, I didn't know what it would do.
Now that you do know, do you think that in future that's going to make a difference?
Yeah. I'm not going to do it again.